Thanks for joining us and welcome to another edition of The Rundown. I'm Jason Madison.
And I'm Tyler Hafner. It's been an interesting couple of weeks for sports this spring. The William Penn golf teams are having their way on the pitch, while the baseball and softball teams keep tipping back and forth.
Also tonight, we'll talk about a few former Statesman football players looking to go pro. And I hope this guy next to me, starting quarterback for William Penn football, T. Haf, can fill me in on how the Navy and Gold are panning out this spring. All that later. Holding off on the pigskin talk and hitting the hardwood, William Penn University has chosen a new head coach to run its women's basketball program. Former head coach Mike Brown has been replaced by newcomer Willie Scott. Brown recorded 42 wins and 37 losses during his 3 years at the helm. Now it's Scott's turn. The 54-year-old Chicago native comes to WP after a one-year stint as an assistant men's basketball coach at AIB College of Business in Des Moines. Prior to AIB, Scott had numerous coaching positions, most recently at the Chicago Steam of the ABA Professional Basketball League. Scott led the Steam to a 23-2 record in 2013. Scott also has some NCAA Division I experience as an assistant coach and an interim head coach at his alma mater of Bradley University. Back in the early 80s, Scott led Bradley to an NIT title as a starting point guard. With all that in the past, he plans to start a new basketball chapter here in Oskaloosa.
To start off, NAI is a very competitive level of basketball, and so I'm excited to be involved with that. The transition would be a challenge, but I like a challenge. It's not like it's just 100% new for me. As you know, I did coach a pro-am team in Chicago that went to Vegas. We won a championship there, all women. So I got my feet wet a little bit, which I had fun doing it. But I'm a student of the game, you know, and so I feel like coaching is coaching, whether it's women, men, little kids, it really doesn't matter. Your philosophy should be the same. So I'm excited about the transition. I think that I'll do really well here. I normally take a job where the program is at rock bottom, and I've been blessed to turn the program around within a year or two everywhere I've coached as a head coach. But this program is not rock bottom. I mean, they struggled a few years and had some challenges, but they're not like at the point where they're 0-26, like similar to the situation I walked into at AIB, where they had only won one game the year prior to that. So we have some work to do, but willing to put the work in. We obviously have to go out and get some more players and kind of change the culture.
Scott has met with his returning players and is excited to bring them under his wing.
Third week in a row, Penn's women's golf squad put a scare on a top-ranked team. But for the third straight week, the 20th-ranked Statesmen came up just short. This time around, Penn traveled to Nebraska for the Bellevue Invitational. The Statesmen jumped out to a one-stroke lead after day one, led by the strong play of junior Demi Coertze. But number 12-ranked Bellevue rallied and ended up narrowly edging Penn by a single stroke to claim the title. Penn finished in second place out of 6 teams. Coertze led the way for Penn, finishing tied for second at 147. Coertze had struggled as of late, but she led the charge for the Statesmen.
Demi's had a few weeks where she was struggling a little bit. But she really worked hard on the range, really bought into what we were trying to, the little things that we were trying to change within her swing, and it all clicked. Losing to Bellevue by one shot. On the onset, you might think that, yeah, that's not good. But I think it was the best thing that could have happened to us. After the round, they were hungry, and they're ready to prepare. And these next 2 weeks are about preparing for the conference tournament. They're focused, they've grown up a lot, they're in the right spot, and the next 2 weeks are just about preparing for that event.
Penn will be off for 2 weeks before traveling to Riverside, Iowa for the MCC Championships on April 28th and 29th. Penn will look to defend its conference title to get back to nationals.
Up, down, up, down. That's been the season for the William Penn baseball team. Pitching's been great. Senior Josh Ruiz and Matt Vasquez have been having outstanding seasons, but it's been inconsistent hitting and defense that has plagued William Penn. Now, that doesn't mean all's lost. It just means the Statesmen have played a lot of close games and need to gain some steam in conference. This week, William Penn traveled to Des Moines for a doubleheader against Grandview, and once again, the Bats did not wake up. In the first game, Grandview's Kyle Mesher pitched a shutout against Penn, allowing 4 hits and a 3-0 loss for Penn. In the second game, which was played at Principal Park, the Vikings scored 3 runs in the bottom of the third and never looked back. Penn would fall 5-2. That puts William Penn at a 17-18 on the season and a 7-8 mark in conference play. Grandview tops the MCC standings at 16-4. Head coach Mike Laird says he's confident his squad can start turning the corner. The skipper says the MCC is evenly matched, and if Penn gets on a run, look out.
We have to generate runs by moving people around and getting timely hits after we get them on. So, and I think most of the guys have bought into that, but early that wasn't happening, and that was part of our Achilles heel as well. We had some guys that, situationally speaking, when they're at the plate, probably didn't do what we needed to do. So if we can keep improving there, we can finish real strong. We can have a great year.
Laird also says his squad has already played in 14 one-run games this year, the most he's ran into ever. That's why Penn has struggled to string together a winning streak. Penn will be back in action this weekend for Senior Day and Breast Cancer Awareness Weekend. The Statesmen will host a doubleheader against AIB on Saturday and Sunday. These will be the last home matches for Penn this regular season. Penn softball teams also faced Grandview in Des Moines Wednesday and surprised the Vikings by pulling off back-to-back road wins over the 25th ranked NAIA team. The Lady Statesmen beat the Midwest Collegiate Conference's top team by scores of 4-3 and 5-zip. In the first game, the visitors were down 3-1 entering the final frame until Penn's Breeze Early hit her 5th home run of the year. The senior is the team's leader in that category and set up the 1-2 punch of freshman Taylor Vernon and senior Jordan Steele. Vernon doubled at her turn at bat, then Steele went yard with a 2-run shot to bring home the 4-3 win. Head coach Mike Christner says he's glad his team didn't get rattled under pressure.
Yesterday, our middle of the order stepped up. I mean, 3, 4, 5, 6 were pretty much got all the runs. Zerley's been consistent the whole year. Jordan's been consistent pretty much the whole year. Taylor Vernon, she didn't start at the beginning of the year, and she just earned her way into the lineup and come up with some big hits, and she's pretty much a staple there now.
Penn's defense also came up big, led by the senior led pitching tandem of Brittany Grove and London Young. Christner changed up the rotation with his 2 pitchers.
Brittany Grove had been throwing the second game. Yesterday's the first time we threw her the first game. She's been consistent the last 3 or 4 games, so I thought, you know what, if we got a chance to sweep, we're going to go for it. We're going to throw her first, give London a little bit of a break, and it worked out.
Grove closed out the first game with 10 straight outs while permitting 3 runs on 7 hits. She struck out 5 with 1 walk. Young was far from being reckless, pitching a shutout from the mound. The senior struck out 9 and 5 walks, had 5 walks. With the victories, WP is 15-24 overall with an 8-6 record in the conference. That's 5 games back of Grandview, which is leading the pack at 15-3. William Penn travels to La Crosse, Wisconsin Sunday to face Viterbo in another MCC doubleheader. Penn swept the V-Hawks 2 weeks ago in Oskaloosa during their first doubleheader.
William Penn's track and field teams were back in action over the weekend. The Statesmen were in Des Moines for Drake's Jim Duncan Invitational. Penn came away with several top 10 finishes, but found its most success off the lanes and in the field. Sophomore Derek set in headline for the Statesmen as he finished in the top 5 of 3 different events. Seddon was solid throwing the discus, placing first and breaking his own school record with a toss of 162 feet 1 inch. Seddon followed that up with 2 fifth-place finishes in the hammer throw and shot put. Also showing off the guns was Oskaloosa's own Caleb Gist. The junior shot putter finished 4th in the event with a toss of 46 feet 8 inches. Just like the men, the women had 2 shot putters in the top 5. Megan Foster, seen here, almost pulled off the win, throwing the stone 41 feet 4.5 inches. The junior finished runner-up with that throw. Not too far behind Foster was fellow junior Kristen Listovka. Her mark of 36 feet 2 inches was good enough for 5th. William Penn returns to Oskaloosa this Saturday, hosting the Statesman Relays at Lacey Stadium. The field events will start the day off at 10 a.m. The running events will follow at noon. And staying with track and field news, several members from the OHS boys and track and field squad are looking to punch their ticket to the Drake Relays. Oskaloosa won't know its qualifiers until after the weekend. Seniors Skylar and Spencer DeYoung are looking to qualify for the 3,200 and 1,600 meter races. Senior Kijana DeYoung and junior Austin Reed have a shot at the 110 meter hurdles. Plus, Oski also has a chance to qualify in the 4x100 meter hurdles. OHS would be in action next week at the Blue Oval in Des Moines for the Drake Relays. Tune in for our next week's show to find out who qualified from the boys and girls side and how they fared.
From the track to the pitch, OHS boys soccer has struggled to find its footing early in the season. Last year, the Indians went 2-15. This season, Oskaloosa is winless after 3 matches and going through a difficult part of the schedule. Oskaloosa video production reporters Macy Stanbro, Caitlin Smith, and Seth Crook met up with the team to talk about what it wants to accomplish this season.
As the weather begins to heat up, so is the boys soccer season. Today we will be filling you in on the upcoming season and hear what some of the guys have to say.
I play anywhere in the midfielder or striker.
What do you play?
I played soccer going on 13 years, and I'm a defense.
I've played about 6 years in rec and league soccer, but this is my first year playing for high school, and then I play just about every position except for goalie. I'm looking forward to just playing other teams, getting more of a feel for soccer and learning new things.
Hopefully winning more games than last season.
Getting to know some new people and try something different.
Yeah, I would like to score more goals and start each game.
I just want to improve on what I did last year. Probably score a couple goals here and there, but nothing too major.
Not letting anybody go past me.
I think our biggest competition will be Albia.
Biggest competition is going to be Pella and Grinnell.
I think our biggest competition will be anybody. I just want to get out there and play. So biggest competition can be anywhere from somebody on the team to one of our rival opponents.
Sounds like you guys are gearing up for a great season. Good luck. I'm Macy Stamber with OVP News. Back to you.
Following matches against Albia and Winterset, Oski won't be back home until April 21st when it hosts Grinnell. Grinnell is winless with a tie and 4 losses on the season.
3 William Penn former football players were hoping to impress some pro scouts over the weekend during the inaugural Globe Bowl. Defensive backs Deshaun Conley and Joseph Fry, along with fullback Michael Thomas, are taking part in the event. The Globe Bowl allows leagues outside of the NFL to check out All-American and All-Conference talent from the NCAA Division II on down to the NAI level. Some D1 and Pro Arena players attended this year's event to show off their skills to scouts from the NFL, CFL, AFL, and Arena leagues. Last Friday, April 10th, started with the National Pro Day Scouting Combine in Brenningsville, Pennsylvania. The actual game was Sunday, April 12th in Allentown, Pennsylvania.
As that trio hopes to land a deal, another local football player found pay dirt overseas. Senior Caesar Harris signed a 1-year contract to play professional ball in the country of Hungary. Harris, a defensive back from Memphis, Tennessee, took off for Hungary in early March to play for the Nyír Jaharza Tigers of the Hungarian Football League. Harris says it's a blessing to still play football after college. A 2-time letter winner at William Penn, Harris is expected to play both defense and offense as a wide receiver for the Tigers. Harris notched 14 tackles and 1 interception in his 2 seasons at Penn. Those are the updates we have for you this week, but before we go, I couldn't let Tyler off the hook without asking him about Penn football. So Tyler, can you tell me how the team looks this spring?
We're looking really good. We're playing fast. We're strong. I think we have a good team this year. We've got a lot of seniors playing some key positions, getting in the weight room, lifting weights. We're looking pretty good.
Right. And before we even got on the show, you were talking about preparing for the new conference that you guys are going to be heading into. It's going to be a little change. You guys are going to be heading south a lot more down to the Kansas area and focusing in on there. And Grandview is going to kind of follow your guys' footsteps down there. So tell me about getting prepared for the next chapter in William Penn football history.
Well, the Heart of America Conference, I think it has, not counting us, 5 teams that are ranked in the top 25. So it's a really good conference. It'll be good for us, especially making it to the playoffs. we'll have all of that, top 25 talent already behind us, and looking forward to some more top talent. But the playoffs is something we're really looking forward to. We do believe we can get there this year. It's something we all really missed from 3 years ago, and we're ready to get back and make some noise.
All right. Well, I want to wish you good luck in the off season, and I want to wish good luck to everyone else this week and all the other athletes in the area. Thank you for joining us on this week's Rundown. We'll see you next time.